Hello everyone. In this part of video, I am going to discuss about the some numerical problem related to the Ohm's law. This problem deals with the concept of force between charges and the force between gravitation. So this part will be going to discuss about how strong is the gravitational force or how weak the gravitational force as compared to the electrostatic force which is existing between 2 point charges. So in this question, it is stated that Coulomb's law for electrostatic force between 2 point charges and Newton's law for gravitational force between two stationary point masses. This is the question that will deal with the electrostatic force and gravitational force. Both have inverse square dependence on the distance between the charge and mass. Part A is compare the strength of these forces by determining the ratio of their magnitude for electron and proton. For two proton, estimate acceleration of electron and proton due to elliptical force of their mutual attraction when they are 1 angstrom, means 10 to the power minus 10 meter apart. Mass of proton is given 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Mass of electron is given as 9.11 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. So we have to compare the forces of gravitation and electrostatic forces. So suppose in first case, the electrical force between electron and proton. So these forces will be attractive in nature because electron has negative charge, proton has positive charge. So force will be equal to Fe. So this force will be minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Charge, both charge will be same, E square divided by R square. This is the force, electrostatic force. That is why it is E is put here, electrostatic force between the electron and proton at a distance r apart, where negative sign indicates that force is attractive. This negative means force is attractive. Now, same way for gravitational force, I am going to write Fg, gravitational force. I am just putting here negative because this force is also attractive. So mass of proton multiplied by mass of electron divided by r square. So this is the gravitational force and this is the electrical force, where mp is the mass of proton, me is the mass of electron. So now suppose if we have to compare this, so just divide this equation by this equation. So dividing these two equations, we get magnitude of electrostatic force divided by magnitude of gravitational force. Magnitude I am writing here, and that is, if we divide these two, so this r square will be cancelled out, and the term which we get is like this, E square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught multiplied by G multiplied by mass of proton and mass of electron. So this we get from the these two equations, Fe divided by Fg. So r square will be cancelled out, at this term will come like this. So now you put all these values of E. E is the charge on electron. So charge on electron is, as we know, 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb square divided by 4. Pi value is 3.14. Epsilon naught value is 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12, and then the value of universal gravitational constant G is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11. Then we have to multiply mass of proton. That mass of proton is given 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Then mass of electron is given 9.11 into 10 to the power minus 31. So after solving this all values, we will get it is equal to 2.4 multiplied by 10 to the power 39. So this is just an explanation. This type of calculation will not be asked in examination because it is very tedious job to calculate all these things. But I have using this calculator, I have found this. So force of electrostatic divided by gravitational force. This magnitude is equal to 2.4 into 10 to the power 39. So we can write from here force of electrostatic equal to gravitational force multiplied by 2.4 into 10 to the power 39. So you see how big is electrostatic force. Means gravitational force is very, very weak as compared to the electrostatic force, because electrostatic force is gravitational force multiplied by 2.4 into 10 to the power 39. So this force is electrostatic force is very big. So first part is our compared the strength of these force by determining the ratio of their magnitude. So between electron and proton we have done for electron and proton. Now same thing we have to do for two protons. If two protons were there, so how we can find the uh, electrostatic force and gravitational force, that we will have to calculate. Now we have to calculate the force between two protons, means electrostatic force and then gravitational force we have to calculate for the same problem. So electrostatic force here, if we write on similar lines the ratio of magnitude of electric force to the gravitational force between the two protons. So between the two protons, if you have to write, first I have already written this relation, Fe by Fg magnitude was equal to E square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught multiplied by G into mass of electron and mass of proton was there. But here only two protons we have to write. So we have to write mass of proton into mass of proton. Charge will be the same. In the previous equation, here it was mass of electron and here it was mass of proton. So after putting mass of proton, that is equal to 1.6 into 10, 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27, and charge of electron 1.6, and all this value if we put, then we will get this relation as 1.3 into 10 to the power 36. Here it is coming 36, and if here two protons were used, if one electron and one proton was used, then Fg, the ratio of Fe and Fg, it was 2.4 into 10 to the power 39. When proton and electron was used, proton and electron were used. At that time, the force was this much ratio, and the ratio is now 1.6 when only two proton is used. Now, in part third, estimate the acceleration of electron and proton due to electrical force of their mutual attraction when they are 1 angstrom, means 1 angstrom equal to 10 to the power minus 10 meter apart. Third part is that. So in third part, we have to estimate acceleration of electron and proton. We have to calculate the acceleration of electron and proton. So now you see here what is so for two protons, the gravitational force is attractive in nature and Coulomb force is repulsive. So for two protons, suppose here it is proton and here also it is proton. So electrostatic force will be Fe will be repulsive, like that. Fe will be in this direction and Fe here it will be in this direction. But gravitational force will be attractive, Fg, and gravitational force here on this it will be also attractive. But electrostatic force will be repulsive. The actual value of these forces between two protons inside a nucleus, distance between two protons, if you see inside a nucleus, this is nucleus suppose, then the distance between two protons is very, very small. And this distance between two proton is 10 to the power minus 15 meter. So we can find the electrostatic force and gravitational force also. So for electrostatic force, what we do for electrostatic force, it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and 2 proton means charge on proton multiplied by charge of proton and divided by distance between the proton. So distance between the proton is 10 to the power minus 15 meter. So a square is coming. So now putting the value, this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, all this value we are putting 1 by 4 into 3.14 multiplied by 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 into 10 to the power minus 15 square into E square means 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 19 square. So after doing this calculation, it is coming approximately 230 Newton. This is very big force that is existing between two protons in the nucleus. Now, similar way, we can also find the gravitational force. So gravitational force will be equal to Fg, that is equal to G multiplied by mass of proton into mass of proton divided by R square. Here R is 10 to the power minus 15 square. So if you put the value of mass of proton, that value is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg, and gravitational constant G has value 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11, and calculating all these things, so we will get this value which is equal to approximately 1.9 into 10 to the power minus 34 Newton. So you see how a small gravitational force is acting between two proton and how much force between two, electrostatic force between two proton is acting. That is very big value, and this value is very small value. So just we knowing the force, we can also calculate the acceleration. So this one problem is just a problem. So thus by using two parts of the problem, problem 1 and 2, we have seen that the electrostatic force is very, very big as compared to the gravitational forces. So now let us calculate the, now the third part, what asking in the question is that acceleration we have to find, estimate the acceleration of electron and proton due to electrical force of their mutual attraction. Now we have to find the electrostatic force first, then we will be able to find the acceleration. So the force will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into E square divided by R square. Now R is given as 10 to the power minus 10. So we have to use the value 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught and multiplied by charge of electron is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 19 divided by square, and divided by r is 10 to the power minus 10 meter square. So putting epsilon naught for pi value, we will get this value, magnitude of this force, as this value is coming 2.3 into 10 to the power minus 8 Newton. This is the force. Actually, I want to show you how much acceleration of this system will be there if this much force is acting on the two proton. So now acceleration, as we know from Newton's law, force is equal to mass into acceleration. So mass of a proton is given. So acceleration will be force divided by mass, that will be acceleration. So acceleration of proton, if we talk, then this force is 2.3 into 10 to the power minus 8 divided by mass of, suppose here I want to find first mass of acceleration of electron. So we have to put here mass of electron. So mass of electron is how much? It is given in question. Mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 equal to acceleration of electron. So after solving this value, we will get 2.5 into 10 to the power 22 meter per second square. So this much is the acceleration of the electron. We could imagine how big this value is. This value is very, very big. So this is mass of, this is acceleration of the electron. In similar way, we can also find the value of acceleration due to gravity. We can conclude that the effect of gravitational field is negligible on the motion of electron, and it undergoes very large acceleration under the action of Coulomb force due to proton. The value of acceleration of the proton we can also find. Same relation we can use, mass, acceleration of proton. So acceleration of proton will be force divided by mass of proton. Here it is mass of proton. So force is 2.3 into 10 to the power minus 8 divided by mass of proton is how much? Mass of proton is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. So just calculating this, 1.4 into 10 to the power 19 meter per second square. So this you see how much this value is very, very big value of this acceleration of the proton and acceleration of the electron. Next problem we will see another example on the. So this type of example is not asked generally in examination because there is a lot of calculation. But this problem is basically to give you the incitement about the idea of the acceleration of the proton, electron, and gravitational force. The gravitational force is how much weaker than electrostatic force. Now we will see next questions that are also very, very important, and how we can use the force concept to calculate the force concept to find the resultant force on any charge given. This is another problem that is very interesting problem here, and this problem is also from NCERT book. And this problem is that consider three charges Q1, Q2, Q3, each equal to Q at the vertices of an equilateral triangle. Means Q1 is also equal to Q, Q3 is also equal to Q, and Q2 is also equal to Q. These charges are placed at the vertices of an equilateral triangle. So this vertices equilateral triangle. Now in the question is, what is the force on charge Q? What is the force on this charge Q placed at the center? Means when this charge is placed on the center, what is the value of force at the center? Means here we have to find the force by the all these three charges. This you see, this is a very fundamental question that will give you idea how we can find out the forces at any point when there are so many charges are present. So you see this relation, this is equilateral triangle. So definitely this angle is 60 degree, and this angle is 30 degree. This is also 30 degree. So we have to find the force of this charge at this Q and due to this also. So the force, because all charges are positive, so the force F1 is the force applied by Q1. F1 is the force applied by Q1, and F2 is the force applied by Q2, and F3 is the force applied by Q3 on Q, this Q. So to calculate using using electrostatic force, we need to know 1 by 4 pi k. This is called constant Q1, Q2 by R square. R is the distance between Q1 and Q2. So here Q1 is Q and Q2 is capital Q. So this distance we have to find out what is the value of this distance. If we know this distance, we can very easily find out the this force using this relation. So this angle is also 30 degree. This angle is also equal to 30 degree. So we can find this length, this whole length, if in this triangle, suppose this triangle we are using in triangle ACD. This angle is 90 degree. This angle is 30 degree. So I am going to use, and I have to find the length of this length AD. I want to first find out the length of AD. So if I use cos 30, cos 30 will be AD divided by this AD. AD is base and this is hypotenuse, AD by AC. So AC is given as L. AC is nothing but it is equal to L, side of the triangle. So AD will be equal to 30 cos 30 multiplied by L, and cos 30, as you know, root 3 by 2, so it will be root 3 L by 2. So we have the value AD. This AD we have the value. Now just when we know this value AD, so what we do, we have to find actually the value of AO. So what will be the AO? AO value we have to find. By symmetry we see that the value of AO equal to BO equal to CO. All these values will be same. So we have to find these values of AO, BO and CO. So how we can find, you think, how we can find this value? So the value of AO will be, equal to 2 by third of AD. 2 by third of AD, because it is given what is the force placed at the centroid of the triangle. So centroid divides this line in 2 and 3 ratio. So AO will be equal to 2 by 3 of the AD. So AD is your 2 by 3 and AD is root 3 by 2 into L. So 2 into 2 cancel, this root 3, 3 cancel root 3. So L by root 3 will be the value of AO. So AO and BO and CO all are same. So now we can find very easily F1, that is equal to K Q by AO square. See, AO is L by, so we just put the value here, K Q by AO is L by root 3. So root 3 square, so L square will be here and 3 will go upside. So F1 is this much. You can also verify in similar way, your F2 will be also same and F3 will be also same, having the same value, F2 and F3. Now we have to find the resultant of this F1 and F2 at this point. So you see F2 and F3, these two forces having same magnitude, but the angle between them is how much? 120 degree. So if two forces, suppose like this is the another problem, same related to the force, electrostatic force acting between two charges. This problem is also same type of problem saying that consider the charge q, q and minus q. Here minus q, here plus q, here plus q charges are placed at the vertices of an equilateral triangle as shown below. What is the force on each charge? We have to find the force on each charge. So here you see, if I consider first this point C, here the charge is minus q. So this minus q charge will be attracted by this plus q charge and this plus q charge. So the force of this attraction by this is q3. So this force is F3, which is force on charge q3 due to charge q2, due to charge q2. Here q2, F32 means force on 3 due to charge q2. So this force will be along this direction. This charge is attracting this charge, so direction will be like this. Similar way, this q1, this will also attract q3 toward itself. So F31 will be the force due to the q1 on q3. So this force we have to calculate. So we have two vectors here, in fact, like this. This is F31 and this is F32. So how much value is F32? So K, as per Coulomb's law, K, Q1, Q2 by R square. So Q is here, both the charge has, we have just to take magnitude of the charges. So Q, Q, and divided by the distance between them. The distance between them is L. So L square. In same way, we can also write F31. The magnitude of charge is QQ again. K is constant, K, QQ divided by L square. So both have the same magnitude. So this lets it's F, it is also F. So now resultant force, here you see the two vectors having magnitude of the force equal, and they are acting at how much angle? It is 60 degree. So I told you early problem, when two vectors are acting at an angle theta and the resultant will bisect this angle and will have the same magnitude. So directly no need to go, if you want to go through the vector analysis, you can go. The resultant force, F resultant, will be under root F square is plus F square plus twice F into F cos 60 degree. We just put this value because the resultant, we know two vectors like this. If this vector is A, this vector is B, and acting angle is theta, so resultant will be equal to A square plus B square plus twice AB cosine theta under root. So this relation I have used. A and B both are F and F. Cos 60 will be how much? Cos 60 is 1 by 2. So this 1 by 2 will be cancelled out. 2 cancelled out, and this will be 2 and 1. Its value will be. So these vectors F will divide this angle, means it will pass through 30 degree, but magnitude may not be same. If angle is 120, at that time magnitude will be same, but in other cases the resultant will not be same. So here if this value will be cancelled out and it will be root 3 into F. So resultant of these two forces when inclined at an angle 60 degree will be equal to root 3 into F. I have done one slight mistake in speaking here. That is, it will pass through and magnitude will be same. No, magnitude will not be same, but angle will be dividing. When two equal forces are acting at angle theta, the resultant will pass through theta by 2, but the resultant vector, magnitude may be different. Here magnitude is different. √3 into f. Same thing you can also verify here for f2, for f3 also. So at this point, you see that here at A, how many forces are acting? This one force and another force here. So here F13 is how much? F13 is same as F31. So F31 is K Q by L square, and I have written it as F. And F12 here also K Q by L square. L is the length between, and these two charge have the same magnitude. So F12 will be this. So here two forces is acting, one in this direction, another in direction. What is the angle between these two forces is? How much angle? Here this angle is 60. So definitely it will be 120 degree. So here the resultant of F1 will be same as this, also we can write F. So the resultant will be here equal to this resultant. Here we calculate F resultant under root F square plus F square plus twice F into F cosine 120 degree. Cos 120 minus half, so minus, its value is minus half, so it will be minus, so this out, so only F will remain. So here the resultant will be F. Here also, if you calculate the same way, you can practice and you can find, we will find that here the resultant of this two vector is also F, because here angle is how much? Here angle is 120 degree, and F21 and F23 both are same. F21 that is equal to F, and F23 and F32 both are same. So this is also equal to F, this is also equal to F. So this resultant will be also equal to F. So this resultant is called because the angle between them is 120 degree, so this will be equal to F. In all other angle, it is not necessary that the magnitude of this vector will be same as these two vectors. Only it will be same when the angle between them is 120 degree. So this is the all about your electrostatic forces and charges. Now next video I will discuss about the electric field.